Hey, it's Carolyn Grimm with Accounting How To. I'm here today to give you my favorite study hacks, specifically for intermediate accounting. They apply to all accounting, but this is specific to intermediate accounting. Now, I've been an accountant since the 1900s, children, the 1900s. So I've seen some things, but I've also been teaching accounting for about 20 years, and I've seen students do some things that really hold them back. So my job today is to help you to not do the things that hold you back and do the things that move you forward. So here's my first study hack for intermediate accounting. Master the why, not just the how. So in our principles class, or financial accounting, which is what it's called at my college, we focus on how to do things, how to do a journal entry, which accounts you should debit and credit. We talk about those kinds of things. We don't talk about the reasons why behind those things. When we get to intermediate accounting, it's all about the why. And when you can understand the why of why we're doing something, it makes it a lot easier to apply that information. So look for the why. What is it in our accounting codes that makes us do things this way? Why are we going to recognize revenue in the month of March instead of in the month of April? On our statement of cash flows, why are we going to classify something as operating or something as financing? So when we start to look at the why, it makes it a lot easier to understand what you're doing. And once you understand, it becomes a whole lot easier. Hack number 2, active problem solving. Practice, practice, practice. It's just like learning a musical instrument. The more you practice, the better you're going to be at it. A lot of times students will either not read the textbook or they'll read the textbook and they'll say, well, I still don't get it. Well, that's because we have to actually apply it. And I see this in my beginning accounting classes a lot. Students are like, well, I watched your video. You can't just watch a video or read the textbook. You've got to actually apply those things. And the more practice you do, the easier it's going to come for you and the easier it's going to be to do things like take an exam. So you can get more practice by doing more homework problems. So in the back of your textbook, there's going to be a whole bunch of exercises. There's going to be multiple choice questions. There'll be problems. And you can work through all of those or as many as you need to work through until you get the thing. And whatever that concept is, the more you practice it, the better you're going to be at it. Study hack number 3, practice chunking. So chunking is something that you can do when you're learning a musical instrument, for example. You're going to take a piece of music and you're going to chunk it. And you're going to say, okay, I'm going to work on section A until I get that good. And then I'm going to move on to section B. You can do the same thing with your intermediate accounting chapters. Now, those chapters have a lot in them. There's a whole bunch of different concepts that are going to be covered in each chapter. Maybe the first time through you don't understand it. Maybe the second time through you start to get a glimmer. And maybe the third time through is the point where you're like, oh, I kind of get that. And then also, if you're working on one specific piece and you're like, I think I understand that, check Accounting How To YouTube channel because there's probably a video about it. But you've got all of that at your fingertips. And when you start to chunk things like that, you're making building blocks. So when you understand the basics, and then you can build on top of that and build on top of that, then you end up with a base of knowledge. And knowledge is what accounting is about. If you're going to be an accountant, clients value knowledge. And when somebody values something, that's what they're willing to pay for. So the more knowledgeable you are, the more worth you have in the accounting profession. Study hack number 4, your professor is a resource for you. Now, I run into this a lot now, especially with my younger students. They don't want to ask for help. And I don't know why that is. If you've got explanations for that, please drop them in the comments because I'm really interested to know why that is a thing now more so than it used to be. So maybe they feel like they're going to look dumb or they're afraid they're going to get, I don't know, laughed at, or I don't know. But your instructor is your resource. So if you have a question, ask and we will help you. Because here's the thing with teachers. Every teacher who's worth their salt is in it because they want to help other people succeed. So when my students ask me to take a look at some homework problem that they're working on and ask me to take a look and see where they went wrong, I am happy to do that. I am excited to do that. I love that. And if your professor is one of those people that maybe isn't as helpful, go to another professor, go to YouTube University, go to Accounting How To. There's going to be help for you somewhere if you have an instructor that is that way. And when you do go to your professor, go with a specific question. A lot of times with my early accounting classes, I have students who come in and say, I need extra help. And I'm like, great. What do you need help on? And they're like, everything? Or I don't understand. And I say, well, what is it that you don't understand? And they say, everything. Then we've got to go through the process of figuring out where things went clunk for you. And that's fine too. But it's really more helpful if you come to your professor and say, listen, I got stuck on this thing right here. Why is that answer wrong? Then we can really get to it quickly, solve your dilemma, send you on your way to do the next problem. Study hack number 5, study groups. This can be a really good thing or something you should completely avoid. Let's talk about why. Some study groups are really great. People working together, helping each other solve problems. One person might be able to explain something in a way that you're going to go, oh, I get that better now. What you want to avoid is that it's not a study group, it's a copying group. So you've got 5 people that get together, one person does the work and everybody else copies from them. That doesn't do anybody any good. So study groups can be really great if people in the group are serious about, studying. Then it can be really, really helpful because you can bounce ideas off each other. Study hack number 6. Understand in accounting that things build on each other. So something you cover in chapter 1 is going to be needed in chapter 10. We see this in financial accounting principles classes. When students don't get the first 4 chapters, which is like everything of accounting, how to do it, how to understand what's going on. So if you don't get something in chapter 1, it's going to come back and haunt you in chapter 10. If you get something in chapter 1, you're going to be able to build on that throughout your accounting education, and it's going to really help you to have that strong foundation. So now it's your turn to tell me, what are the things that are the most challenging for you in learning intermediate accounting? Or what are some things that you've done that have really helped you that could help other students? So drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for video ideas that are going to be helpful to my students and students around the world. So I hope you found that helpful. Be sure to check out my other intermediate accounting videos in the intermediate accounting playlist. And I will see you in another video.